Join us on this journey of inspiration and reflection in this corner of introspection. We share motivational and philosophical videos with the purpose of guiding us towards a more meaningful and conscious life. Life is a sequence of choices, each of which guides us along a unique path. Ancient philosophy, defended by thinkers such as Marcus Aurelius and Seneca, offers precious insights to help us make decisions that can profoundly influence our lives. In this exploration, we'll dive into 10 decisions inspired by historical principles. These decisions are not simple passing moments, but rather deliberate choices that are in tune with the essential values of Stoicism. This will lead us to a life of wisdom and purpose. Therefore, we invite you to embark with us on a journey of self-discovery and empowerment, as we uncover these 10 decisions that truly have the potential to transform your life through the lens of Stoicism. Stay with us until the end and make the most of this experience. Accept what really matters. Saying yes to what matters is an expression from Marcus Aurelius that resonates deeply with me. When you wake up in the morning, it's important to reflect on what a valuable privilege it is to simply be alive, breathe, think, enjoy and love. He teaches us that this lesson, although simple, is deeply meaningful. In the midst of the daily hustle and bustle, we often forget the fundamental miracle of being alive. Therefore, when we say yes to life, we are truly recognizing this privilege. Scenically, we are reminded that it is not that we have a limited amount of time to live, but that we often waste a lot of it. In other words, we become distracted by passing concerns and activities that don't add value to our lives. We must be selective in deciding what deserves our yes. Ask yourself if something is really important, if it will be relevant in a year, 5 years or 10 years. Saying yes to what matters is understanding that every moment is precious and must be used wisely. Every time we say yes to something, we are implicitly saying no to something else. So, in times of confusion or overwhelm, remember the wisdom of the Stoics, who teach us to value life, live with purpose, and focus on what really matters. Life is short, and every moment is a gift. Embracing these teachings means living a life of purpose and meaning, something your heart and soul will be grateful for. Before we move any further, consider giving us a like and subscribing to our channel. This supports us and helps us bring you more valuable content like this. Thank you very much. Be disciplined. Remember the words of Marcus Aurelius, you have control over your mind, not external events. Understanding this is finding strength. This means that although life takes its own course and does not always turn out as we expect, we have complete control over how we react to these situations. This is where discipline plays a crucial role. By training our mind to remain calm and focused, even in the face of adversity, we can navigate life with grace. Think of Seneca's wise words, we become what we think about most of the time. Every action we take and every decision we make shapes our future. Choosing to be disciplined, even if it's challenging at first, sets the tone and direction for the rest of our lives. When we talk about discipline, we don't just mean working hard or following rules, but recognizing that we always have choices. We can let life lead us or take control and chart our own path. By choosing discipline, we choose a life with purpose and meaning. Don't suffer in advance. On the journey of life, it is easy to fall into the trap of suffering in advance. We often feel overwhelmed by worries and anxieties about the future, creating unnecessary anguish in the present. In these moments, the wisdom of philosophers like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca can offer comfort and guidance. Seneca stated that, most of the time, we are scared more than we are hurt and we suffer more from imagination than from reality. This quote encapsulates a profound truth: much of our suffering arises from our own thoughts and projections about what could happen. Too often, we allow our minds to create scenarios that may never come to fruition, robbing us of the inner peace that resides in the here and now. Marco Aurelio, in his Meditations, reminds us not to worry excessively about the future, but rather to live the current moment as a whole. The countless and diverse challenges that you have faced in the past and that you will certainly face in the future encourage us to focus our attention on the present. We should deal with difficulties as they arise, rather than burdening our minds with the imagination of hypothetical problems. We should not waste time embracing each day as a treasure full of moments waiting to be used with discernment. Unfortunately, we often allow ourselves to be seduced by the temptation of procrastination, which is a thief of time and the enemy of progress. Inspired by the wisdom of Stoicism, we must unravel the veil that procrastination casts over our lives. Seneca, with his insightful words, reminds us that putting things off is the greatest waste of life. The act of postponing tasks, dreams and aspirations blinds us to the potential of the present moment. We must value the present, for our time on this earth is a gift in itself, not something to be wasted. Imagine, my dear friend, a ship that leaves without a defined destination. He simply drifts aimlessly, and his crew becomes trapped in the currents of inertia. Likewise, when we procrastinate, we allow the currents of time to carry us without a clear purpose. However, Seneca aptly advises us to begin living immediately and to consider each day as a separate life. By beginning each task promptly, we assert our control over our time. Marco Aurelio, in his Meditations, offers us a flashlight to light our path, reminding us that we can leave this life at any moment. This truth should guide our actions, words, and thoughts. The reality of life's impermanence emphasizes the urgency of taking action and enjoying each moment with purpose. When we look at procrastination from this perspective, its pull on us weakens. Manage your emotions. As we travel the complex path of existence, our emotions often carry us like gusts of wind, tossing us from side to side on the turbulent currents of the imagination. By studying and practicing the insightful words of historical philosophers Marcus Aurelius and Seneca, we find guidance for navigating our emotional boat through the storms of life. Our emotions can take root in the soil of our imagination and grow into distorted perceptions. I want to help them pause and question the validity of their feelings, distinguishing between the genuine moment and the narratives the mind creates. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, reminds us that very little is needed to create a happy life, as everything is within you and your way of thinking. This advice reminds us that the canvas of our emotions is painted by the traces of our thoughts. So take control of building your internal dialogue and frame your emotional landscape into a canvas of resilience and tranquility. Imagine emotions as rivers that flow through your kingdom, and you are the guardian of these waters, able to direct their course. Seneca's wisdom teaches us that true freedom flourishes when we become the architects of our emotional responses, tying them to our wisdom. If you want to know more about how to control your emotions and change your life, watch the latest video published on our channel, which describes how to do it and the benefits it brings to your life. We continue. It is often easy to get stuck in the ground already covered, contemplating the steps of the past. Seneca constantly reminds us that we are always complaining that our days are few and acting as if there is no end to them. We often waste precious moments dwelling on what has already happened, forgetting that each day is a canvas waiting for new traces. Let's shift our focus from what's behind us to the path that still lies ahead of us. Let awareness of the transitory nature of life propel you, directing your thoughts and actions toward meaningful endeavors. Think of your life's journey as a path that winds through valleys and peaks. Seneca's insight resonates: life is not difficult because we dare not, it's difficult because we don't dare. Embrace the challenges in front of you as opportunities for growth, reach higher peaks and acquire the strength of character that only the journey itself can provide. Take care of others and imagine life as a great symphony, where each person represents a unique note. In this symphony, our individual melodies harmonize to create music that transcends time. We are waves from the same sea, leaves from the same tree and flowers from the same garden. We are all part of the same composition. We are interconnected and interdependent. The happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts. Just as we cultivate our own thoughts and emotions, we can shape the world around us through acts of compassion. Consider the idea of sharing a smile with a stranger as a simple action that has the power to brighten their day, filling the moments they encounter with light. Imagine yourself as a zealous gardener responsible for the garden of humanity. Just as every flower needs care and attention, every soul seeks understanding and kindness. We must offer others what we would like to receive: joy, readiness and generosity, without hesitation. For there is no grace in a benevolent act that clings to our hands as a reminder of the times when someone's warmth and consideration lifted our spirits and left a lasting impression. Your gestures of compassion have the power to ignite hope in others, functioning as lighthouses that guide ships in stormy waters. Remember that as you help others, you also nourish your own soul. Visualize life as a ship sailing on rough seas. The wind and waves represent the unpredictable currents of existence, while the ship's rudder symbolizes your choices and actions. Just as a skilled sailor adjusts the rudder to steer the ship through storms, you can guide your life by focusing on your own actions and reactions. Imagine a situation where external events cause anxiety. See it as a storm on the horizon. Focus on your internal reactions and choose a calm response. This will turn the storm into a gentle rain. Just as a careful gardener nurtures his garden, you can cultivate your mind by planting seeds of positivity and mindfulness. Think of the sun that rises every day, a reliable constant. Likewise, you possess the power to overcome external turmoil by embracing your inner strength. Philosophers throughout history have likened this strength to an unshakable fortress, a sanctuary that you build by focusing on your thoughts and actions. Remember a time when you faced a challenge that seemed insurmountable. With concentrated effort and perseverance, you managed to overcome it. This principle is rooted in the historical philosophy of focusing on what is within your control, just as a skilled sculptor uses a block of marble to create a masterpiece. Be prepared to expose yourself. Imagine yourself standing on the edge of a dance floor, hesitating to step in and dance for fear of looking awkward. This fear, like a barrier, prevents us from trying new things and growing. The story reminds us that true growth often comes when we step outside of our comfort zone, even if that means appearing momentarily naive or inexperienced. Think of a child learning to ride a bicycle. At first, she falters and falls, looking foolish in her attempts. However, with each fall, she learns, adapts and eventually masters the art of balance. Likewise, when we allow ourselves to embrace new challenges, we grow, develop and gradually become more skilled. In the words of Marcus Aurelius, the first rule is to maintain an unshakable spirit, the second is to face things head-on and get to know them. Just as a courageous explorer faces unknown territory, we can confront our fears of appearing foolish and still proceed with courage. In the same way that an artist creates a painting with bold strokes, allowing his ideas to flow onto the canvas, the first stages can seem chaotic and out of control. However, As the painting evolves, it transforms into a masterpiece. Likewise, when we are willing to look foolish at first, we create space for our potential to shine and our abilities to develop. Remember a time when you were hesitant to share your thoughts or ideas in a group discussion. By overcoming this hesitation and participating, you've contributed unique insights to the conversation, like adding a distinctive color to a vibrant tapestry. Seek challenges. Challenges are the threads that give depth and meaning to our existence, as historians such as Seneca and Marcus Aurelius have shown us. Seeking challenges is not a search for unnecessary difficulties, but a deliberate choice to grow, evolve and prosper. Think of it as a muscle that needs resistance to get stronger. Our minds and spirits require challenges to reach their full potential. Seneca wisely said that hardship strengthens the mind, as work does the body. When we embrace challenges, we are like sculptors shaping our character, resilience and wisdom. Consider the example of learning a new skill. At first, it may be unfamiliar and perhaps even frustrating, but as we persist, we gain mastery and a sense of accomplishment. These small victories add up and suddenly the scary becomes routine. This process, my dear, is how we evolve, as Marco Aurelio reminds us, the impediment to action promotes action, what is in the way becomes the way. Challenges are not obstacles to be avoided, but opportunities to be seized. They become the stepping stones that lead us towards growth and self-discovery. Remember that our comfort zones may feel safe, but they are also like stagnant waters where growth stands still. By seeking challenges, we are sailing the vast sea of life, embracing the unpredictable winds and waves that guide us to new horizons. What did you think of these 10 lessons I shared? Leave your valuable opinion in the comments and, if you appreciate historical philosophy, I recommend that you follow our channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any content. We have already published several videos that will certainly help you in your search for knowledge. Thank you and see you next time.